So we're gonna think outside the box here, and I'm gonna give you 4 questions you should always ask your couples. And this is something that you might have overlooked, but if you do ask them and you get the full scope of what they're looking for, it'll change the game. Watch. So question number 1, if your couple wants oldies, right? If they want older music played and they'll say, oh yeah, play a little bit for the old people, play the new stuff, they give you a list and all that, always ask when they want the oldies. When do you want me to play them? Because there's 2 ways to do it, okay? You can keep it open format all night and sprinkle a little of the oldies in all night and, keep the fam here and whatnot. Or you can front load the oldies, okay? Play it all up front, or at least most of it in the first set. And then later on, get into the stuff they like and kind of focus on their friends. And this matters for a lot of reasons. Number 1, you're getting the full scope of what their vision is for their day, and you need to make that happen as a DJ. And number 2, if you're sitting there thinking oh, well, I know when to play oldies, okay? Why would I ask them that? And then I'm not gonna be able to play oldies later when I need it. Well, see, you gotta understand that sometimes playing for the entire crowd isn't what the couple wants for the entire wedding. You see, sometimes the couple wants to make the old people happy early, and then later on, they'd rather the old people leave so they can twerk and shit. So debauchery could happen. Sometimes they want the old people to leave. I mean, our wedding today, they literally don't want us to announce the after party. They're having one. It's right here at the venue, right over there, but it's top secret. We're not announcing it because they don't want certain people there, okay? They don't want certain uncles and aunts and old people to just show up because they know they will. They want to have a good time with their friends, So if you don't ask these questions, you'll never know. And maybe because of the music you played, inadvertently, you kept some people here at the wedding that they didn't want here. And that's it, Some people just want the card money. The second question you should always ask is what they want to be called throughout the night, okay? A lot of times in paperwork and for formalities, they'll put full governments, okay? Matthew, Nicholas, Michael, right? But they probably go by Mike, they probably go by Nick, they probably go by Matt. I always ask the couple, how do you want me to refer to you throughout the night, okay? I can be formal for the formalities, but if I'm just telling everybody, hey, make some noise for so-and-so, who do I say? Do I say your regular names? Maybe they have a nickname that their family members call them or something. A lot of times, people don't go by their regular first name, and then you're calling them by Michael all night. Michael, Richard. Everyone calls him Dick. It's weird for the family and friends to hear Richard. You know what I mean? So you want to ask these questions so you address them properly. So just, I don't know. I think it makes a difference. The third question is always ask if you're allowed to film content at the wedding. This is self-explanatory. You never know. Sometimes people don't want to be filmed. Sometimes it's, witness protection program thing. Who knows? I don't know. Just always ask, because in today's day and age, right, we're always trying to get our social media clips and all that, and you don't want to post something that ends up going viral or do real well for you, and then later on they ask you to take it down because they don't want to be filmed. It's happened to me before. Just always ask. You give permission ahead of time, you're good to go. Keep it rolling. So the fourth thing has to do with music, and this is something I always ask because some couples don't correlate certain songs that could work at their wedding, but they'll work in other places, if that makes sense. So basically what I'll say is, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Couple, when you're putting together a playlist, try and think of songs that would go crazy that I wouldn't know about. Is there a family tradition type song that's played at, every family event or backyard barbecues? Was there a song that went crazy at your bachelor or bachelorette party that I wouldn't know about it? You guys were on the bus and going crazy, right? I try and pry for any type of song outside the box, even if it's not a quote unquote banger, right? But any song that's outside of the box that has some meaning that would pay dividends with certain groups of people and their friends and family. And you'd be surprised if you really pry and ask them hey, was there any songs growing up or any songs with your friends in high school or college or whatever? When you pry, you're going to get some information that they didn't actually think would be relevant. They're like, oh, well, they might think the song's not appropriate or not good enough, not a banger enough to play at the reception, but because it went crazy at another time, it will again if you set it up correctly. And then I explain that I'm just going to create the best possible moment around that song. So if you give me a certain song, you request it, you give me the context behind it, I'm going to time it out. I'm going to make sure I play it when certain family members are out there or certain, wedding parties out there, and I'm going to make a moment out of it, and it's going to go crazy. And then you always have a game plan to get out, and that's it, So I've noticed over the years, you have to pry this information. A lot of couples want to simplify it and just say, no, we want to play it safe. We just want to play the bangers, and that's it. And, there's so many ways to create really cool moments with untraditional songs, and you just got to bring it to their attention, I want to create something unique. I don't want to play the same top 200 every fucking wedding, You know what? I'll give you a bonus one since I can't count. The fifth question you should always ask is whether or not the event is black tie. I can't tell you how many times I didn't ask that. It was never mentioned. How would I know? I show up. I got a nice light blue suit that's fly as hell. Fly, okay? Great outfit. My suits are fantastic. I am proud of my suits. But everybody else is black tie. Everybody's rocking tuxedos. And keep in mind, if it's black tie, you don't have to wear a tuxedo, but you gotta wear a black suit. You gotta wear black on black, you wanna fit in, okay? It's just, you feel awkward. So always ask, is it black tie or not? Are we getting fancy with it